Former Love and Hip producer Hop revealed that Jim had been given several chances to pop the question to Chrissy on camera, with producers prepared to pay for extravagant proposals, but he consistently declined. The producer said he wanted it his way. The issue is that such phrases never appeared. Fans who had witnessed Chrissy beg, plead, and even drop down on one knee herself were hurt by the discovery. It was the last affirmation for many that Chrissy's greatest years had been wasted with Jim. But Jim was not done yet. He posted a freestyle titled "Forever Ain't Forever" on SoundCloud late one evening. The lyrics were devastating, scathing, and angry. I said I would, and you said I do. 20 years later, that pledge remains / you turned to go. The battle was lost by me. I guess I should have done it correctly. Within hours, the song became one of the most popular themes. Supporters sobbed, analyzed, and argued on whether it was manipulation or art. However, another twist occurred before the dust could settle. A hazy picture purportedly showing Jim exiting a private dinner with Chrissy's long-term partner and Camila Joel Santana's wife was obtained by an insider. A friend. It was a grainy image. Although the context was unclear, it was plenty to drive supporters crazy. Had Jim moved on already? Was this just a coincidence, retaliation, or a rebound? Jim and Camila took care of things. However, the conjecture was sufficient to splinter the internet once more. As the battlefield was closed and unobstructed. Chrissy was at ease. Jim was hurting. Additionally, the supporters enjoyed front-row tickets to the collapse of a 20-year tale. However, the stakes were higher than ever, the leaks more persistent, and the rumors louder. Because the greatest shock had not yet been revealed, sources said. A gossip blog was hinted by one producer. Do you believe the end is near? No, not even the greatest secret has been revealed yet. And everyone will have a different perspective on this narrative when it is out. Suddenly, the next explosion was about to happen. Would Jim at last give up the receipts he had threatened to throw away? Would it finally be revealed who Chrissy's hubby was? Or will all be revealed by VH1's manipulation scandal? In any event, one thing was evident. This was not the end of it. Not even close. The internet believed it had seen everything. The screenshots, the freestyle, and the voicemails that were released. However, Jim Jones and Chrissy Lemon's story was far from over. No one was ready for the crescendo that was approaching. Because they revealed more than just sadness when the last round of leaks struck. They threatened to destroy friendships, reputations, and traditions that had been ingrained for many years in hip-hop culture. The initial blow of this last act came via the Harlem Truths blog, a little gossip website that managed to obtain a video that no one anticipated seeing. Supposedly shot in 1971, the blurry video was kept in Chrissy's family's possession. In the archives, a teenage Chrissy was seen holding a newborn in Harlem. The VHS packaging included a scrawled label that said, "Jimmy never knew." Within minutes, the video became viral on Twitter. Was this thing for real? Was Chrissy harboring a secret kid from her decades-old relationship with Jim? A decades-old hidden child with Jim? Harlem Truths launched another bomb within hours. Scanned correspondence purportedly from Chrissy to a confidant in the late 1990s. Fans gasped at one line. "I'm still waiting for him to mature, but broken promises are not enough for my child." The letters rekindled the rumor that Chrissy had nurtured a kid in secret as she awaited Jim's arrival, concealing the facts to keep them out of the spotlight. Timelines were overflowing with conjecture from fans. If this youngster was it true that Jim was the father? And was this the reason Chrissy eventually left and wed someone else? Jim spoke out once more. This time with a blazing Instagram Live had more than 150,000 watchers at its peak. He said, "I don't know," while sitting in a studio with his eyes heavy with fatigue and his chains shining. "Nothing about having no secret child. Stop teasing me with my name. I've always loved that woman, and she made the decision to a different dude. That's all. Don't start changing the past to paint myself in a negative light." Fans weren't persuaded despite his strong statements. Everything, the film, the quiet, the timing, pointed to a more complex narrative. The stunner of all shockers then arrived. Chrissy's now adult child went live. Their face became indistinct for privacy, a little twisted voice. However, the message was quite obvious. I am the kid of Chrissy Lannon. I won't reveal who my dad is. That isn't significant at the moment. My mother's calm is what counts. She is deserving of happiness, and she deserves to be released from her past's constraints. The internet was disrupted by the broadcast. Supporters cried, "They've lit the internet on fire." Furthermore, this is not your typical controversy. It's heartbreak. Real-time betrayal and unfiltered emotion are erupting. The man who made his reputation on devotion and ride-door love is Jim Jones. And he has finally spoken after 20 years of standing next to Chrissy Lannon. Furthermore, what he said wasn't only a declaration. They were daggers. Fans were already in awe at Chrissy's wedding announcement. But Jim's answer is regarded as the most heartbreaking breakdown in the history of hip-hop relationships. 20 years. 20 years of pledges, plans, and public disputes, then private reconciliations, and then, in a startling turn of events, everything was destroyed. Supporters claim that Chrissy squandered 2 entire decades of her life. Additionally, the man who vowed to be his forever is now disintegrating before our own eyes. Chrissy shocked everyone by dropping a bombshell on that reunion tape. Declaration. I have a spouse. The ensuing quiet wasn't just quiet. It was heartache. Broadcast in 4K. Jim stopped. The producers went into a frenzy. Additionally, the audience sensed the kindness of stress that causes pain in your chest. And now Jim has finally spoken after days of gossip, leaks, and unending conjecture. What he said and said disclosed has elevated this controversy to the level of a reality TV episode. We're discussing industry betrayal, leaked voicemails, confidential messages, and a truth that has the potential to destroy everything. Stay put, because you will be shaken by what I am going to tell you. Time paused when Chrissy Lannon stepped onto the reunion stage and said, I'm married. Admirers were no longer only seeing reality TV. 2 decades of love were being viewed by them. Silence and sacrifice continued to disintegrate. Camera. Jim Jones remained still, unflinching and unblinking. His quiet was more audible than any profanity, more audible than any altercation, louder than any mic drop in the history of hip-hop and love. However, what followed? The leaks, the treachery that became apparent minute by minute transformed their reunion into a worldwide scandal. An unidentified Instagram user provided the first crack, the Industry Leaks account. Hours after the tape, they left a message purportedly from Jim. He spoke in a strained, almost, "She ain't even give me the chance, bro." I had the ring. I had the whole plan, he broke while telling a pal. Twitter shared that 14-second video more quickly than wildfire. She ain't let me breathe. Every sigh and pause was examined by users, with some even asserting that you could hear glass clinking in the background. Was Jim drinking during this time? After 20 years of pressure, bloggers presented the message as the sound of a guy whose heart had finally broken. Then followed the text messages, while some fans posted cruel memes